Hello there, Jose Rodriguez here. As promised in my last video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Precision Colors inkset for the Pro 100. As you may have been aware of about maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago, I don't even remember when, I printed and sent samples to the Ardenberg Imaging Group for fade testing. They also tested the OEM inks for the Pro 100 in parallel to the samples that I sent. Now, the results are not quite finalized, but the preliminary data indicates that the Precision Color ink set will fade faster than the OEM. Well, we knew from the beginning that was going to be the case, and that is perfectly acceptable. No other third-party dye ink set will ever match anything by Epson or by Canon. Okay, so that is to be expected. As you may have seen, and I keep showing you guys this is my window test. And yeah, the print room one just sitting here shows no fading. There's no color cast change on my grays. Yeah, there's a little bit of fading. My grays and blacks are a little bit brownish. This is the one that sat in the window. It receives sunlight, daylight from my window facing west. For now, it's been about probably 7 months at least. And so that basically equates to years sitting in my room unprotected. If I was to protect a given print under glass, it might last 10, 15, 20 years. I seriously believe that. This is done on Pro luster paper, which is probably not the best choice for a longevity test of any ink set. If you use a good paper with those inks, as I did with a picture of my favorite one and only grandson, that still looks perfect. It has been sitting around in bright light near windows. It is under a frame now, but it has not faded in the least. And so I don't want you guys to fear that, oh no, those inks will fade faster than original inks. Of course they do. Every third-party ink will fade faster than any OEM inks. Even the most expensive, most fabled pigment inks from a certain seller. Okay, we won't mention the name, but you know who they are. They are the most expensive ones out there, and fabled to be as close to OEM as possible. They will fade a lot faster than the original K3 ink set. So yeah, that's expected. Don't worry about it. Just think about this. You are now in the 2017 part of the 21st century. Every year we make incredible advances in printing technology, cameras, lenses. I heard it put that someone had some images that were printed onto paper in 1990s, sometime in the early 90s. And at that time, they didn't seem important, but then later on, sentiments became to the point where those images now were very important to that family. They were then placed on their glass quickly, but it was too late. They started to fade. Well, think about this. What was available back in the early 90s? I don't think I was even printing then. I was not. I didn't even have a computer. So here's the thing. Today, this day and age, we have the cloud. We have DVDs that we can store our images in. We have all sorts of different types of drives that we can store images in securely. We have multiple places we can upload and store images. We print, and yes, if you print with OEM ink and frame it under the correct conditions, that is for viewing, those prints will last a certain amount of time. In this case, it's probably longer than had the same image been printed on the same paper using a third-party ink. Say, for instance, a print lasts 40 years, 50 years. Do you even care 50 years from now? Are you even alive 50 years from now? See, we have digital images. In the days of film, negatives deteriorate. So unless those negatives were kept in archival conditions and have been processed in an archival type process, you're going to lose your negatives as well. Now we have digital. We can scan those negatives before they turn into nothing, and then return years and years, decades later, and reprint those images. Don't worry about it, okay? If you have an ink set that, like I'm going to show you in a few minutes, will produce prints that on the wall last 5-10 years. Will you even care? In 5 or 10 years, you will have new cameras, new lenses. All your family is going to be older. You're going to need new photos. If you took those photos and put them in albums, they will still be the same. They will not have faded at all, hardly. Depending on your paper, of course. Paper is a huge, huge factor here. But yeah, I can go back and reprint my image. And why is that not a problem for me? Because I'm printing at ridiculously low cost, okay? These inks are about a 60 to 70 cent refill rather than $14 to $15, $16 per new cartridge. Huge difference. So if I have to reprint something 10 years from now, I just reprint it, if I even care at that time. So to me, it's not a big problem. And as you saw here, not a huge difference. What I really should be comparing is the one that I had in dark storage with the one that I let sit in my room, open to my normal light sources, my normal room ambience. That's the one that I should be that's the one that I should be comparing together, not the one that I tortured at the window, because this is equivalent to nothing that would fall upon my prints in a regular room environment. So this particular one looks identical to the one that I have in storage. It's back there still, but take my word for it, it matches perfectly. There's absolutely no changes. So now I'm going to show you some prints that I just printed just minutes ago before I started doing this video. Again, these are not my images. This is cheap Pro Luster that I get super cheap with those deals that Canon gives you here in the US. Buy a couple of cartridges, you get 6 to 7, 8, 9 gifts, which basically means paper. Now I want you to take a very good look at this image. You see this kind of pinkish, yellowish color of the sky. That is exactly the way it looks on my monitor. So these very, very nice, subtle nuances that the monitor is displaying, the printer can reproduce, basically. And again, remember, this is not OEM ink. This is Precision Colors ink. This is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this. Would I leave this laying around? No. When I make prints, here's my philosophy in a nutshell. When I make prints, to me, these are pieces of art. And yeah, to me, yeah, it's something that you could display. But to me, I'm a little strange. I like to store prints in boxes, and I like to open them up later and then look at them, show them to people, and so on. To me, that's what it is. It's more of a very valuable, tangible piece of art, and not something that I will just tape onto the wall. Or if I want to frame it, it's going to end up being a lot bigger than this. I need to have wall space. I live in a tiny house. I don't have a lot of wall space. So for me, for my particular situation here, I just love to reproduce prints, store them, and enjoy them. Let's go look at another one. Have a look at this. How about that? Isn't that beautiful? I think so. It is lovely. The colors are pungent. I mean, they are strong. The blacks are really, really deep and saturated. Everything about it is just gorgeous. And again, would you expect this level of quality from a third-party ink source? In my experience, I've never had, any really huge great luck with any kind of dye ink set from just about anyone out there until recently. Since I got the Pro 100, this is the quality that I've been getting, and I really did not expect this from anyone. Again, so there you go. That is the level that you can achieve. And what are we paying? Probably $1 a print. If you really consider what I got this paper for and the low cost of ink, it takes about an ml for a square foot of image. So let's say 2 ml of ink for this total print here. And, when I was doing Epson printers, I think I computed one time that some of the inks that I was getting from OCP from Germany when I had a good working 3800, I figure it being somewhere around 5 cents an ml. So there you go. This is a neutral print, black and white, sharp as a tack. Everything is just beautiful, neutral and sharp and creamy, just as creamy as you can imagine. Here you go. All right, so that is it. I am not worried at all about these prints ever fading. And again, if they do, I just reprint them. That's it. So they will go on my many storage boxes. I will take them out maybe 6 months from now and do a show and tell video like I used to do. I've been accumulating a lot more prints that I've been making, and so that might be a source for newcomers 6 months from now, new viewers that have never seen any of these older videos. I will use all of these as a show and tell project. All right, so that is it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and print. It doesn't have to be Precision Colors. It could be any other company that sells good pigment prints. Use them. Use them. If you want to sell your prints, yes, then you need to provide your customer with OEM ink printed images. But for your own pleasure, so that you can afford to print at home, go the third-party route. And if you do so, make sure you pick a good provider of third-party inks. Inkjet Mall, Precision Colors, Inkjet Cards, Ink Owl, Ink Republic, many other places that have great inks. Marut from the UK and also here the US. And if you're going to print on matte media, OCP from Germany, very, very low cost. rjettech.com has them here in the US. I think it's .com, rjettech. All right, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this little talk. Again, don't feel discouraged that the results show that ink set fades more rapidly than OEM. Of course it will. That was the whole premise of this, was to see exactly how much faster it fades. And it's probably not even half as fast. I think it's a lot less than that. And again, so far from my results, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. Thank you. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like. So until the next time, everyone, happy printing. Bye-bye.